Good morning, all my lovely baby boomer and hippies and everybody else that's popped through. Um, got- yes, my mic is giving me trouble. Of course it is. Yes, why not? It's raining. Um, I got to remind everybody that this is for entertainment purposes only. So let's hope I'm entertaining. I'll do my best. I think it must be an ego thing because every time I see myself on the big screen TV, I go, oh my God. I'm thinking, what spot can reduce 40 pounds in 30 years? So, yeah, forgive me for that part. I'm a retiree and I'm loving every second of this. I'll tell you what. Um, I'm again going to have to ask everybody, hit the like, share, throw a comment in there, dislike if you don't like it. Tell me what you want to talk about. Come to my bar. There's a reason I'm at the bar. I'm old. Okay, of course, it's raining here today, and I was running through all of the events that might come up today, and oh my word. So, of course, I also have to go out and get groceries and things. Of course, I used to use my steno pad to take notes when I was going to the grocery store, what I need. And now I just need to post it. 5 items. I saw a roast the other day, and I was thinking about making a roast, and so I was looking, and they had three, and the cheapest one was $22.50. I kid you not, you just can't make this crap up. I'm yelling, call 911 because these guys are thieves. 15 people fell down laughing. I was like, serious, I'm serious. 22. Of course, no, I did not buy it then. I could go ahead and go to the restaurant and just pay an extra 10 for a tip. The truckers are still trying to help former President Trump. Usually they just call him Trump, and I like to actually give him his title. That man was, I didn't vote. Of course, I don't vote. There's just no purpose because it's already been decided. So, but I still, I'll pop back in after it's over for a month or two and I'll see what's going on. So I was absolutely surprised that he had won. And he didn't just surprise me, he surprised all those people. Hillary, she had a stroke. I bet you she had a stroke. And then, of course, besides that, then, of course, they had put in a lady as vice president. And I use the term lady to be nice. She's really a giggle queen, and I don't blame her. I giggle all the time. It's fun stuff. If I were her and I was vice president, I'd run around laughing too. Think, oh, you idiots. You don't see a vice president. Well, technically, you don't really see the president, but you don't see the vice president. Usually bury them somewhere else. Probably Joe's garage. Some more paperwork for when he was a senator, which he never showed up for. I just want to know, how can somebody serve 45 plus years from senator, vice president, and time to say president? How do you do that? You couldn't fix it 45 years ago? You couldn't fix it 20 years ago? 10? And I love the press secretary. She's cute. Yeah. She can't tell the truth to save her soul, but she's cute. I took down one of mine posts because I think it was because of political reasons. I don't know. But I'm still going to speak my mind. And if they take it down, I'll just put a different one up. Ain't no problem. I'll be here all week, guys. I'm thinking, send the Blackhawks. I'm bored. Yes. Army veteran, come play. I got a nice bottle of scotch that's been aged for 12 years. Y'all want a shot? Who wants to join me? I did ask again for my Facebook friends and family to throw some likes in or something. And I still haven't seen anyone, and that surprised me. None of my friends, none of my family. I think my husband did once or twice, and I'm like, oh, I'm really going to grow this channel. I can't even get my son to vote yes on my best. So please help me out, guys. Understand that perhaps maybe they don't actually have access to YouTube. I don't know. YouTube's usually free. You can get it without like the commercials that they're adding now. 6 seconds. It'll be 5 minutes. So It's possible they don't have access to YouTube because usually they'll put something on if I do post something. So I'm sorry to be missing them. I really am. And of course, I am allergic to blooming everything in Georgia when it's spring. And spring has arrived, even though it's fairly cold. So this morning, I'm having, excuse me, trouble with both eyes. So this is going to be fun. Ever since, in particular, that I had to have artificial lenses installed, I say that like I'm a car. It's just, the worst part was waking up on the second part, surgery on the second eye, and I woke up and they were cutting on one side, stitching on the other. That was totally terrifying. I gotta say, you talk about going back to your training days. I mean, that was basically the first thought I had was just breathe and look at basic training. You can do this, and I managed to get that. They did not put me under a second time, and they did not stop with the scalpel and the stitching. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, I love that. And it was cute when I went back. I had to go back on both occasions, be checked and so forth. And I explained again, I was like, how did I wake up in the middle of the second surgery? Because they didn't say, and they finished the second eye while I was still awake and cognizant of both my surroundings. And I could move my feet. And I guess they saw the consciousness in my eyes too. Because your eyes are the window of the soul. It doesn't matter if you're really supposed to be out, but when you come up, the light goes on. So even with artificial lenses, so it's like and they're yelling, "Hang on, I want to hang on," and bless them, they did it. They managed to throw, I believe, some pain medication in the IV so that I wasn't in any pain. But it wasn't actually painful. It's just that I knew what they were doing. I could feel what they were doing. And they had me strapped down everywhere. They had a thing in my mouth, squeezing things in my hands. And they wrapped the hands, so you couldn't open the hands. I mean, literally, I asked them a couple of times if they were looking for Frankenstein's bride. Reminded me of that movie with Mel Brooks, which I thought was slightly funny. So it's just, I had already had it done once and I did fine. So of course it didn't occur to me that it would be a nice mess there at the end. But we worked through that, and I love what they said though. It was like, "We're sorry you had to go through that." I'm like, "Okay, that covers it." So not. I'm thinking in my head, "Where's the scalpel? I'm gonna see what she." I mean, it was a disaster. And now I always had hazel eyes, and hazel eyes change color. It's kind of like a mood ring on your what you're doing or what you're thinking, how you're feeling, kind of thing. So mine would go like stormy gray, forest green, things like that. That's true hazel. And they put the moniker of hazel on a lot of people, but they usually are not actually hazel eyes. I don't know why that is. My optometrist just said that's the way it is. Yeah, he's got a degree. That degree makes me go, okay. Have you done this before? So I didn't think about it at first. And then it took some time trying to get all this out from under. It took some time to recover and, to be able to see, take patches off and so forth. And suddenly one day I looked in the mirror, and I don't normally do that because I don't like what my mirror says to me. I've gotten rid of almost all but like the bathroom. And I was doing something. Oh, I was taking makeup off. I was going to do a facial scrub, and I saw that my eyes were just sparkling light green, and I just froze. I was like, "Oh my God, is that me?" At 60 something, you're like, that's that's not the way they used to be. You do eye makeup for whatever years, um, and I didn't wear it when I was younger, but I was military. Really wasn't done much. And the end of my military status, especially in Germany, I did wear makeup when I wasn't in uniform, but it was much more toned down in uniform. And I worked with officers always, so you don't want to go in like you're going out to the club. There was a time though when I would run to the bathroom or whatever, and I'm changing clothes and all that, so I catch that bus to the club as soon as I get off work. Yes, I had a lot of fun when I was in the army. I loved it. It's different now. My grandson is also now an army veteran. It's very different than when I was in. I actually said, I don't think I want you in my foxhole. I don't want to be shooting by friendly fire because you're tired. I heard that they could actually hold up a sign or something and say, we need a break or whatever, and I'm tired or say whatever. Oh my God, my Vietnam Rangers, my drills were all Vietnam Rangers. I'd have been shot. And we were the first group of women in a company. We were the first company of women that didn't train as wax. And if you've ever seen my podcast, you probably know that that was me. And the movie Private Benjamin, it's me. They just got Goldie Hawn to play me. That was because none of us women knew until we were there. We were all going to Alabama to WAC train, uh, Fort McClellan, which has been closed, I believe. So we end up in Fort Jackson in South Carolina, and I'm sitting on a guy who's holding my suitcase, and I'm sitting on the suitcase on the guy. And at that point, something should have clicked in my head that this is not going well. But yeah, I can't imagine saying something like that or even attempting to speak to. Anyway, that was above you without permission or whatever, especially in boot camp. You just didn't go, sir, but I really don't. Although I did crack them up when they handed me a grenade, and it was a live one, of course, we had to qualify. And here I am, I'm finally 18, I believe, by then. And I'm like, guys, you should get out of here because they picked me last for softball for my entire life. So went outside the concrete barrier, and they laughed and laughed and laughed about that one. So, and I didn't get in trouble, which surprised me. It was just, whatever crosses my mind generally is the way it goes across. And I had the most rank, having had college and so forth. So the rest of the trainees didn't even have one chevron. I had three. I was already a private first class, and so that was fun because since I was the ranking officer technically of the company of women, so if one of them screwed up, I got it tenfold. So my girls did screw up very often. I actually ended up on KP. I grabbed my uniforms because I think I've told everybody, but you can probably imagine I weighed 88 pounds, nothing fit. They weren't ready for women. It was the same clothing that the men wore. And of course, that fell off of a 17-year-old teenager. The boots, we had to stuff newspaper. It was amazing. So I had gone to get all the issue of my uniforms that had been altered now so they would fit. And when I came back to my company, they had grounded my everything, equipment covered down, and then my company had gone up to Chow. And so I managed to get in I just stood behind the last company that was going in. When I came back out of Chow, and I'm not thinking much. It's not a restaurant, folks. Just don't do that. And I should have been smarter about that. I think I'd had like 2 hours sleep, And this was chow. I had missed breakfast, and you get very hungry when you're at boot camp because they work that right off your butt. So I came back out to, of course, where we stand around and make for orders or whatever to rejoin my company. And my CO, and I worked for my CO as a secretary as well for boot camp. And he was a really funny guy, but he was also a very serious guy, and they needed to be. And I give him credit. They trained us women so hard because they didn't know if they could break us. And if they could break us, then we would be a detriment instead of regular army. You don't want someone who'd kill you in the foxhole because they're too silly because they're a girl. And a lot of men thought that at that time. And you can't really blame them. It was society. And they're coping well. It's just after coming out of a war, as my CO said, jumping out of an airplane and killing people, which cracked me up. So he always called me Wicked. And to this day, that's my nickname, Wicked. It's just, it comes up on everything. So, yeah. Uh, that's when I found out you don't do what I just did. And regardless of whether they called me his pet or not, and he did help me a lot, I think. When I broke my knee, he carried me for about 5 miles. And they you know, it was man down kind of thing. And we were out in the middle of nowhere being attacked. I took out the machine gun, finished the last of the test, but I had broken my knee badly. In any event, he's just standing looking in. He's PO'd. And I had not yet made a mistake. This was about the fourth week, I think, boot camp. And she realized, you don't do this right. How long you been here? I'm like, oh shit. She report for KP at 6. Yes, sir. Take this shit out of here. Put it away. You have 3 minutes. We were on the fourth floor of this particular building. Up you go, and you better not do it wrong because you know he's going to come up in there after you've done this. It might not be the 5 minutes, it might be an hour later, but it better be right because you're going to come back up there again. You have to go to KP. You know that when he lets you go, you have to go to KP. And KP was always at least 24 hours. So I knew I'm screwed. I'm not going to sleep for a week. So at least I'm run down. And of course, I mean, this was, chow time 1, 2 o'clock because it was late for me. And off we went. We had to do our training, do all this, and there was a couple of classes and so forth. Finally, I'm released, off to do KP. Finally, I'm done with KP. And it turned out I didn't have to do the 24 hours. I guess they took mercy on me. I don't know. It was about 12 hours later. And the chef said, I called him the chef. I said, you're done. You can go ahead. You're released. Trying not to fall down. I march on up. I get in my rack. And I haven't even moved the covers, nothing. I just fell down. And it seemed like I had slept for like a minute and a half. It was about 15 minutes when I got because they were shaking me, waking me up, which was unusual for me. I would hear a shoe drop and I'd wake up. So I was very exhausted. And they said, it's your time on KP on roster. So I'm like, can I get a break here? And a roster duty was 24 hours. It was 24 hours KP. So I'm into my fourth day coming up at the end of that without sleep. They don't do these things anymore, but it was a way to toughen those women up. I mean, I was a fencer, gymnast, karate, all those things. My eyelashes freaking hurt. And it's probably a good thing they do things differently. There was a lot of health problems because women were smaller. You have to march and step and all that. So stress fractures, arches fell, you name it. But I had a blast. I really did. I think they all treated us respectfully. And that was very important to us. Not only that we could do what we were going to be told to do, but that we were just as good and we deserved that respect that you would give your mother, your sister, your aunt, whatever. And they were very good at that. In fact, they carried me because I was in this huge cast. And I went get on the cripple truck. It was like with my crutches, and I'm like, I'll be there later. Nobody I knew was coming to see me. Nobody ever did that. So they picked me up and they passed me when they were done and get tired or whatever. It was about 5-mile march to where we got to do the graduation ceremonies. So they would pass me off to another two. And they would hold me up here and somebody else would hold crutches. And the CEO actually picked me up again and carried me over to where Bravo Company was sitting because it was up on tiers of bleachers. And I don't think that's normal either. But I was very grateful because I didn't want to hold up the ceremony. I didn't want to go up the stairs. I didn't want to, hit somebody with a crutch. So, and then he got me down at the end of the ceremony. And my girls all rallied around, and I had gained, well, I was up to 128 pounds at that point. So I was like Hulk. Nothing I had with me I could wear. So they went through their things, because we all had a pass off base. And so they finally managed to find me some clothes that fit because we were not supposed to wear uniforms off base for this particular pass. So I had a blast, and the girls took care of me. And that was very nice, and it was very touching because we knew that we were all going to be gone, and we didn't have social Woodstock that we have now. So that was rough. We didn't have cell phones, so you had to use a regular phone. And if you crawled across the street, it was long distance, so you couldn't afford that crap. I remember the first cell phones. The big ones look like walkie-talkies. It was, 3,200. We'll work that out over your 2-year service. Oh my God, they were expensive. I love my straight talk. It's unlimited. It's $45, and they're great. And I went like AT&T went down, and it was so funny to me. The reporters on there, AT&T customers have lost service. They can't call. They can't even send a text. I'm like, oh no, no, not the text. They can't send a text. Oh my God. It's like, oh my God, you people are freaking out. It's been 4 hours, okay? Pick up a regular phone. I mean, there's still a few around. Cracked me up. Then I saw it again this morning. I'm like, oh my God, can they text you? Can I help them? So they still haven't really actually what happened. Sorry about this, everyone. It really gets to me sometimes. Um, they just said that it was out. Well, they all knew that. And a lot of people have AT&T that we know. So they didn't have a phone for like a day almost. And all of them panicked. It was something else, I'll tell you what. Mine was fine. So here I am. Here, use my phone, because I have unlimited data anyway. So here, you can use mine until you send what you want. These people were so lost. I even had a neighbor come over and to see if my cell phone was working, my smartphone, I'm sorry. And so I'm like, oh yeah, 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 here you go. And it was to send a text to her son, who's grown. He's 25. My phone's not working. You can't make this stuff up. I'm like, so she texted her son, by the way, who was on her plan. So his phone wasn't working. Yet she ain't come across the street to borrow my phone and send this text. I'm like, I just started laughing. And she looked at me funny. I said, is he on your plan? And then they went, oh. The lights went on. So I couldn't stop laughing. I mean, I had tears coming down my face. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. You had to know. Yours not working, but he's on your plan. This will be fine. You just can't make this stuff up, I swear. We got the month of Ramadan coming for the Muslims, and that's their holy month. And of course, they'll be wanting to be in the dome. I don't know. They're trying not to invade Rafah. They're trying to hold off, trying to give everybody time to get out of the way because they have to take Rafah. And they also don't know what to do with the Holy Month. Since they won Jerusalem in, it was either the 67 or the 73rd, maybe 73 wars. I don't know which one it was, but they got Jerusalem then after that war. And they're attacked. It's always their attack first. And yet somehow the world is saying, you can't do that. Babies are dying. Yes, we know that. We all know that. We all don't want that. How many babies do you know that got killed on October 7th? They wouldn't even show footage of many, many of the atrocities done to these people as they were killed. They wouldn't even, and they had a press conference to show many of the press what happened that day, but they had chosen carefully and had edited. Um, so they kept, um, they did a good job of showing and letting people understand without showing so much of the graphic things that happened. And nothing was put out about what they did to the children. And there were people that said they put babies in ovens and cooked them alive. They beheaded them. They hung them in trees. They set them on fire. This is pure evil. This is not a revolutionary activist. This isn't even a terrorist. This is evil in its worst form. Hugely evil. And guess what, folks? Now, I saw, and they were on a UN council, and Iran said, soon we will be in your country. We're going to be able to spread. I don't even know. I guess you would all want to be Muslim because if you're not, their jihad is to kill you. And we will be in your country within 10 years, and then we will be inside your politics, inside your infrastructure. We will be everywhere. and we're going to get you. The United States is who they were talking about. This is a UN exception speech because they've been accepted to the UN. Most people make, jihad threats as they're saying, thanks for allowing us to sit on the UN. Like, the freaking, what are you people drinking? It's like, what? So, yeah, then we have, I don't know how many terrorists sit on the UN. Trump is right. Don't give them money. We're paying we pay more than every other country that sits in the UN. These people, what have they done? Show of hands, anybody know? Nah, we don't know because they done that. Bosnia and Herzegovina was the last time I saw the blue helmets. And the UN used to wear, I don't know what they do now, but they wear the blue helmets. And that's the last time I saw. And then they pulled out because they were watching women being raped, killed, and they put concentration camps up. That war really didn't get the attention it should have. Millions died, and it was a racist war. It was genocide. But these guys are from the UN. They have rubber bullets. I live in supposedly a world that's a civilized nation, and I don't use rubber bullets. I use the big butts, the best ones you can find. And I have extra clips. And if I'm in that kind of mode, uh, you know, don't, don't walk. These people came out yesterday, had a deliberate accident to stop traffic, and traffic was basically stopped anyway. And imagine you're in a car, you're going to work, you got your kids in the car, you got to go drop them off. And so this is in the concentration of driving the vehicle through this. So they crash into a car, and three of the terrorists get out AK-47s and start firing automatic fire at the people in the cars. We had one death, which is definitely a miracle. I thought it would be way higher. They had blocked traffic. They were out with the weapons. These people were completely defensive. I mean, they had no defense. They had nothing, and were trapped in their cars with their children. What is going on? How does the world, like I just saw Harvard University, where the Palestinians who live in my country, it's a good thing I'm not president, are protesting in Harvard, and it's okay. And they were so many that they completely went across the street in a line, and the line stretched back. It looked like for a mile. And I think their citizenship should be revoked. And I think immediately that this and they should be returned to their country of origin on their own damn dime. I don't know what's wrong in my country that universities and colleges are allowing this kind of grief. But if you pups didn't like what we do, then why the heck are you in my country? Get out. Take your little passport, run your headscarf down straight back. You go fix your own things. My country's fine. That's why you came here. And as you can see, that really burns my shorts. And oh yeah, because you have a right to do this. No, you don't have the right to raise riots. You don't have the right to make hate speech. We have freedom of speech, which you seem to and love our freedom of speech, but you couldn't do that in Palestine. You would do something that stupid, be shot in the head, probably 5 or 6 times. That's what they did to the people that they attacked. They shot them in the face and head so many times, didn't have a head. This is, again, pure evil, and there is no way to describe the horrors of what these people perpetrated and will continue to perpetrate. They still have 130 some odd hostages, for God's sake. They've been saying they want the Ramadan month for a ceasefire. And they want to make, again, a two-party state. Now, the people that are pushing this and supposedly dreaming it up, I like this part, would be the United States and Qatar. What? What gives on any of you the right to tell another country, stop fighting? You have to take those missiles that come in every day. Your people have to die every day. Your people had to be slaughtered on October the 7th. Your babies had to be beheaded. You don't need to fight us. We're fine. We can do a two-state just fine. Well, I said, and I'm not sorry I said it, and I'll say it again, that they should turn the Gaza Strip into Berlin in 45. There wasn't nothing standing. You couldn't put two rocks on another one. And that's the way it needs to be. And it's almost there. Because these guys were finding, and they were in a school which had broken the one wall out and broke another wall into another blasted building, but it was still standing. And then they would go through the school and into this building and fight. It's just ridiculous what's going on. And I see my country going, oh, well, they got the right to get out of my country. They don't like my country. Get out. We have 11 million supposedly that have come across the southern border. They hold a sports team because they got to check them for COVID and give them a shot. But the 11 million that crossed and shit, well, it must have washed off in the river. The Rio Grande took care of it because they didn't have to have none of that. We're going to give you a phone. We're going to give you a plane ticket. We're going to give you some clothes. I love the Nike clothes and shoes. That's a lovely thing to see. Yeah, I love that stuff. Most Americans are always running around in Nike clothes. At what point do we Americans go, screw you? Get up. You're fired. When do they start holding the powers that be accountable to we the people? I didn't mean to get angry and give everybody a lecture, but I hope you stand this, and I hope you stand up and say this is wrong, get out. You're fired. To every one of the ones, every congressperson that they have, every senator, every member of the House, get out, you're fired. In particular, you need to throw the ones out that have been there more than 8 years. They should never have more than 8 years, just like the presidency. 45 years. Oh, we're going to build it back better. It was the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. And then the president himself he is called, he's not, but that's what they call him. Gets a question from Peter Ducey, a reporter, and I watched his father for 35, 40 years and him as well. And as soon as Peter leaves the room, you hear this jerk say, there goes the stupid son of a bitch. What did you just say? Did it make the news? Only on those that are still opposing being a political channel, and even that was it was a political channel. It was giving him airtime, but nobody condemned it. But a few of the later night people on some of the channels. Actually, I think it was only Fox that condemned it. We gotta wake up. We're losing our country from both the inside and the outside. It's gonna stop. Your own kids can't go to school because it's being used as a shelter for illegal aliens. Stop this. The Egyptians put up a huge fence in like a day and a half. Okay, we've been working on this for what now, 18 years or more. And there's guys standing there going, tell us to fit this fence. Tell us to put this fence up. Texas flat out has said that he will not stand down, he will fight, and he will. He will have to. Somebody should investigate Governor Abbott. He's a great guy, veteran, and deceased in a wheelchair. So he's already given a lot to his country. And he's standing firm. And thank God, other governors who are joining him. Arizona, New Mexico, not California, not surprised there. But many are trying to stand behind him. This is getting, to me, close to pushing a civil war on the people of America. And I don't like to say the United States because we're not united. We used to be. That didn't come around as a civil war. So they wanted to be, just America. We'll just use American term occasionally. We're now the United States. No, you're not. You're not. You never will be. The people can't do two things. They can't fight City Hall and run their homes and keep their children in school if the aliens don't need, their school to hang out in while people give them money, free food, free clothes. Like I said, I'm loving the Adidas and Nike that they get. Yes, right. And then the forgiveness again of student loans. I'm like, well, where the hell were you when I was paying mine off? This is so unfair to so many millions of people in the United States. Who I'm talking, if you were a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, you have got 10 years of college probably. With doctors, it's even longer. I know I worked there at many, many hospitals. Uh, but you wouldn't believe the curve they grade these guys on. Probably would go to a doctor again if you knew that. That's probably why people like me wake up during eye surgery. So, I mean, it's just, you look around, you go, you've got to be kidding me. You really, you can't just make this stuff up. It's really happening. So we're screwed again. Enjoyed my cigarette this morning before I get out there in this stupid traffic in the rain. Already got my boots out. And my husband bought me a coat. It's like a leather windbreaker. I mean, it's very light. It's to the floor. Yeah, my son saw me the first time I wore it. I walked into his house. And he says, "Hey, Mom, Matrix much?" I was like, "Glasses on," and my coat flows out behind me like it did on Matrix. And I didn't even think of that. But I have a lot of longer coats, and that's the kind of effect that I like of it. It's like more of a cape. I mean, it flows around behind you. So it's a good look. I've had many, many compliments on several of my coats. And I have too many really, but I do have some favorites. So, when I throw my boots on and I throw that coat on and I walk along, there's a bunch of people that say, "You believe in the Matrix too," or whatever. That's just one coat that does that, but it cracked me up when he did that. And I actually told my doctor that, and he fell out laughing. He thought that was so funny. Mm. He also asked where my husband got the coat. He wanted to get his lifeline. I get a lot of questions like that. I think some of these places ought to pay me, especially Wish, because we get a lot from them. But I love the coats because they're very, very light, and so they work in fall and spring because you need a coat sometimes. Like today, it's raining. Normally, I might put a blazer on, but instead, of course, I'll put on. Because it's almost a raincoat as well. I just don't button and zip it up and do all that. I don't have to, and it's going to be in the 60s. So yeah, it's going to do that cloak effect out behind me, and yeah, I do love that. I also, as my husband put it, don't walk like a girl because at 17, 18 years old, I was military and I had to march, and so. He always thought it's fun because when we're together, we're in step. And he said, "No, you don't walk like a girl. You walk like a soldier." I was like, "Thank you. That's a good compliment." Yeah. Um, I enjoyed my time and I enjoyed knowing that we'd kick down the door. Bravo, too. Kick some butt. I'm talking even the boys' butt. We love them too. Could talk to them. We could if we were off base. So, and we all kind of stuck together. Second battalion would kind of stay on one side, third battalion went. So that's the way it went. And you get a lot of passes back those days. You don't now, so I don't guess that's changed. I hate the uniforms. They look sloppy. They look unkempt. They look like somebody slept in them. I don't like the color. I don't like the cut. It's embarrassing. I'm just saying. They could do a lot better than that. Look around. Go back to our own uniforms. They were good enough. Color what you want. The camo look was bad enough. That was a bad, bad time for uniforms. And now they've gone to this dirty, dusty sand color. I can understand that, but at the moment, the Sahara Desert is now a blooming garden, so might stick out a little bit. No, it's just saying. So we have an port Israel, and again, they have put together a tribunal to try them for it's the international court, and they're going to try them for crimes against humanity. What crimes? What crimes? Did those terrorists lob stuff at him, RPGs and so forth? Yeah, they did. Did they come in and kill people? Yeah, they did. Was it a few people? No, it was not people. They didn't have a chance. They stand a chance. Just like those people trapped in the cars yesterday. And if they got the three terrorists and neutralized them. I love that word. Yeah, I'd be there with a gun if I could. Yeah, but This is broken down now. It's very simple. It's not, oh, this is not right, or I don't want a baby to die. And none of us do. None of us do. But now it's the time that comes around and says, when good stands by and does nothing, evil flourishes. And that's what's happened here. For 8 years, the United States and a couple other countries have given the billions of dollars to build tunnels throughout Gaza. I think they said over 100 clicks, or over 100 miles, um, at least. And they haven't finished taking them out. I mean, they're everywhere. Everywhere. This took billions of dollars to put together. I don't know why Mossad didn't pick that up. And I know Benjamin Netanyahu, and I respect that man. I like that man. I like his nickname, Bibi. His brother died in the '63 war, and he fought beside his brother. So this was a terrible thing. He's lived through a lot. It's the longest running prime minister that Israel's had, I think, and it happened on his watch. And this is a great man who loves his country very, very much, and serves his country and has all of his life. And this happened on his watch. So he's beyond upset and grieving. And yet the people who still have hostages up there are attacking him, saying he's not trying to get them. Of course, he's trying to get them. Do you know where those hostages have to be now? If they're alive, Rafah. They have to be at Rafah. Probably under the network. And there's an entire network they've discovered. I think they finally ran LIDAR. I kept saying, run LIDAR, run LIDAR. You'll see them, on LIDAR. In any event, they found another network of probably 100 clicks that hasn't been taken down. And they've been keeping the hostages in the tunnels. The few that have gotten out have talked about this. Does the international court not see the videos of some of the atrocities that were taken that day? I know they heard about women being raped with bayonets and shot through that area, shot so many times in the face that you have had no more. I know they've heard what happened to those babies, regardless of whether they've released that footage. And I watched because, again, we have to bear witness. We said, never again. Never again. And I do give the United States credit in some ways. They have been sending aid. They've been sending weapons. They have been standing beside the Israelis, even in the UN. They voted, I think our country was the only one that voted no on charging Israel with war crimes, because they're not guilty of war crimes. They're not even close to guilty at all. And they're defending themselves, people. That's it. And it's so bad that they still have terrorists. And this was like 100 meters from a checkpoint. And they knew where that checkpoint was. And they went in there to kill a bunch of people. And luckily, only one died, but there were over a dozen, I think, that were injured, several critically. They want peace. They want to be able to do the month of Ramadan. They don't want anybody attacking. Well, why are these people still attacking the Israelis if they don't want them to retaliate? How many Israelis have to die? And their government say, well, seriously, people. Just what? I'm not sure what's going on with Ukraine. I know it's the root basket of Eastern Europe. I know this. Everyone knows that. Why the Russians want it, I don't know. I think they said that it's because they would be too close to accepting the UN. I don't think those kids, those Ukrainian children, were going to vote against Russia at any minute. Their children. And their lives are being cut short. So those children's body bags are not the only thing in Gaza that's coming out. It's the same thing in the Ukraine. And they've been keeping that fairly much out of the news. At first they didn't. And that president of the Ukraine, he's been right there with his people. He's in military uniform. He's not running. If he tells his people that they have to give that city up, he stays until the last ones are out and safe. This man's not a coward. He didn't run and hide. He didn't do any of that. He stayed with his country people, and he fought right along next to him pretty much. As far as I don't believe he's been using a weapon, but he is doing the battle planning and stuff. I've been listening. We've given them a lot of aid, and I'm glad for that. I kept praying they wouldn't lose it, but it's Russia. Even with the backing of the U.S., it's Russia. They got a lot more people, they got a lot more weapons, and they could get even nastier than they've been. And same problem with the terrorists because they're funded by Iran, they're funded by Turkey, Lebanon. We had to attack Lebanon off our battle carriers because they're trying to sink ships in the Red Sea. I don't know about the rest of you, but that kind of screams war to me. Just saying, as a veteran, we're at war. They aren't going to say it maybe, but if my military, Air Force, and Navy is involved in bombing another country because they're being bombed by said country, we call that a war. Can't really get out of that. So we've gone through all of that stuff. And again, I need you guys to like. I've watched some of these. I saw that I'm really nasal, and I apologize. And I had mic problems. I was going in and out, so I didn't have it set right. But again, it's all me. I wear all the hats. I am the production company, which may not be a good thing. But I'm trying to figure it all out. And I appreciate everybody that listens to me. I wish you would put something in the comments and hit the like. Maybe subscribe if you like it. Put something there. Hey, lady, get off the air. I don't care. I want to have a live chat. I want to have a social Woodstock. I want a medium, and we have it, where people can get up there and say, yeah, I didn't want my $1 billion to go over there. I don't want a $15 trillion deficit, which is probably more than that now. I don't want them to take all my taxes and give it to them. I want to help the homeless people here. Do you know what $15 billion would do if they were just taking it to help their own people in the United States? Think about that. If you just take what they gave the UN, which is a worthless and obvious pansy scheme, that would have taken care probably of every homeless person in the United States, since they prefer that to America. It's as if they're trying to start a civil war. No, you can't. Texas can't defend itself. No, Ivana can't. And they all say, yeah, we can. It's in our charters. It's in the Constitution. We can and are supposed to defend our state. And that's the bottom line. And so we've got all kinds of problems with our border. We've got people in Rafah, they can't get through Egypt. They can't go back. So the military, the IDF, is trying to find them a safe place. You can't give them a safe place because the terrorists are embedded with them. So, and this is another reason the other countries don't want there either. They may not come right out and say so. I'd like to know where Iran is. If Iran's been building all this stuff for them and sending them the aid or whatever. Why can't they take them? Why can't any other Arab-speaking nation stand up and say, "Hey, come on, Iran"? No, we've got Qatar and the United States saying, "Well, we're going to pass this together. We're going to make this peace work." It's never worked. 75 years. What do you have to figure out doesn't work? Like everything you've done doesn't work. I don't care what peace you declare, and I don't care how many times they sign a peace treaty. I will never, ever believe that they want peace because they don't. And they don't want a jihad just against the Israelis. Oh, sure, I believe they'll take them out first. But they want them to move on. And there's a lot of them in the U.S. right now. They caught several, a few of the people at ICE, if they're involved at all. But somehow they did catch some of the terrorists coming through. I've heard some chilling statements from people that wouldn't even give their name. And yet they were let go. And again, the easiest way to take a country out is take out communications and start hitting the civilians. They go for those soft targets. Thank God we're not Britain. Most of us have weapons. Most of us We have shotguns, rifles, handguns, tasers. You know, I have one of those mats that say "Get right with God" because if you walk across there, you're gonna be meeting him real quick. And I ain't kidding. If I pull my weapon, you're dead. I'll probably empty it to make sure. You know, some people can get shot and get back up. So every lady that's out there, you pull that weapon, you start shooting immediately. There's no hesitation. You don't talk. You pull a weapon, use it. And I'm talking in a nanosecond. As soon as it's in the palm of your hand, shoot. Don't say, I've got a gun. I'm going to shoot. Because they're already in and they've already overpowered you by that point. So if you have a weapon, you pull that puppy and you start firing the minute it's in your hand. Mine have safeties on them. Mine are all loaded. They all have extra clips. They all have extra ammunition and so forth. I train. I keep that going. And I use the laser sight just to make sure because the artificial lenses and all that mess with my eyes. So I'm going to make sure that I'm not going to miss. And again, I advise you to take a headshot. The Kevlar is going to be hard. You can hit that Kevlar. It's going to hurt them. Break ribs, stuff like that. Might slow them down. Might slow them down. I'm not taking that chance. I'm going for a headshot. Um, it's the only thing that there are several other points that are vulnerable. And a headshot's a hard target. It's not that big. And they could still have helmets on and so forth and so on to kind of even come up to protect the throat. So, but you have to know where you can fire because you may not have but a few bullets. And if it becomes that, it's not your neighbor who's going crazy, although I see this too, it's biblical. It's generally going to be a terrorist, and I anticipate that some bad things are going to happen this year. And I predict that the next 4 years, it's going to amp up, 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 up. So everybody in the United States, we have the right to bear arms. Get one. Get extra ammo because you're going to need it. It's just like when all the rioting and stuff happened a few years back, they wouldn't come to you because they were getting shot in their cars. Their police stations were being burned down. There's no Gary, Indiana anymore. That town's gone. Detroit's gone. Seattle's about gone. San Francisco, it might as well say it's gone because you're walking through human feces and needles to get to somewhere. Most of the businesses have had to pull out because they kept constantly stealing. They had to close it. So that's another city that's going down. If it's a sanctuary city, get out. Get out. Leave that state. Just get out. Because those sanctuary cities, they can kill you and get away with it. They just let go. And that's something everybody needs to understand. We are already targets. And this is from the southern border. And that's not with the terrorists that are leading through that southern border. This is just like the cartel. So I predict it's going to be bad soon. I also think that they're trying to start a civil war by not backing the governors and allowing them to be overrun by the cartels. Something, and their bodies washing up every day, for God's sake. And they too, they're using their people so that they can come across and kill people. And it happens over and over and over and over and over. And over. You know, this guy was by ice. He killed 4 people. We had to let him go. I mean, it's just the most crazy shit I've heard in my life. But if you live in a sanctuary city, I would hope for you that you can get your kids and go to another state and get completely out of that state. I don't care if it's just the city. If it goes on here, I'm going to stay and fight. But I'm an old woman and I'm not going to give up my place. This is my country. But people with children, young children, and they're young themselves, at the very least, for your own safety, leave the entire state. Please stay armed. Keep abreast of what's going on around the world. Because like yesterday, oh my God, you might not be able to send a text. Oh my God. I use my phone as a phone. That's it. I'm not texting, sending pictures, doing face. It's a phone. I answer it if it rings. That's it. If I want to talk online, they get up here and I get on one of my Chromebooks or something or a tablet because obviously it's a lot easier for me to see. It's bigger. And I just don't like trying to do stuff on the phone. And I have nails and so forth. It's just, I don't like to hunt and peck. I need a keyboard because I, I read as fast as I talk. And I know that's fast. I'm sorry. So I type really well at like 145 words a minute. I don't think you have to do more than 20 or 30 in today's world. But so I can type that fast because I can read that fast. So this is, I hate texting. And generally, I hate it so much. I'll use the microphone and they never get it right. It's, you have to go back 4 times to fix the same message because they got 20 words wrong. It's funny to me. I don't know about everybody else. Once again, I need you guys. You can't, I can't even express how excited I am that we are going to do a social Woodstock. I know you're out there. Get in here, throw some comment in. You know, it's for entertainment purposes only. I want to see everybody. I want to talk to everybody. I know there are others that are just like me. And I can't wait to see you and speak to you. Those who've sent me friend requests in the past few days, I have grabbed them, and I'm very honored that you asked me to be your friend after seeing my broadcast. And of course, I accepted your friendship and made efforts to take all of you in. So I do know I'm going to have a few that may like me. So, especially elder people. Yeah, in any event, I see from my little tick up here that I've got my hour almost and I have a lot to do. I just hate it though. I know it seems strange because I'm up here just talking to a little screen, talking to myself, but it's not that for me. For me, it's talking to all of you. This is something we can do. And I can't wait until I start seeing more and more and more and more of us. So get on there, guys. Come on in. Let's do a social Woodstock. Let's all talk about the fact that we should throw everybody out of Congress and probably charge them. How could Nancy Pelosi earn 179,000, which is way too big, a year salary, and she's worth 21.2 million? And just do the math. No, she didn't make that money on a paycheck. Just saying. There's a lot of stuff out there that even the United States needs to take control of again before we lose it. And again, I say stay armed because the police will tell you they cannot always protect you. And if you are being overrun by what are called illegal aliens, bless them, some of them I feel so bad for, but we can't assume that everybody is somebody we want to help. That has to go through a process and then we'll know. So those that want to come here, go through the process. Don't get some coyote, as they're called, and pay him $5,000 to maybe end up killing you and your 3 children. It's better and safer for you and those children to come through our process and come to us legally. We will accept you. We are a melting pot. We do want the refugees. We will find a place to help you. But this running across our borders and so forth and not knowing who's out there, we can't do this. We can't let this go on. And I wanted to thank truck drivers everywhere. I saw New York and I saw Texas, and I'm very proud of them. This is not an easy thing, and they are losing tons of money every day to support our Constitution. Get the Constitution up on Google, guys, and read it, and then read the Bill of Rights, which is where you get your right to bear arms. And we should also all have a militia formed in every county, in every city, in every state, because you can't take a knife to a missile fight. And on that sad note, I'm going to go ahead and say, have a great day. Enjoy the Friday. Hopefully, it's not raining there where y'all are like me, but that's okay. I'll be looking like I stepped out of the Matrix. Love everybody. Can't wait to see you. Can't wait to find out what you want to talk about. There's so much that we need to talk about. So, everybody, again, go out there, have a great day, and know that you are very appreciated. Very appreciated. And I look forward so much to seeing you people. It's going to be a great thing, this social media. We're going to turn it into social Woodstock where we can all reach out to each other. And that is awesome. It is really awesome. Those of you used to the tech are maybe not so excited. So have a grand day out there. Go kick Friday in the butt because we need the weekend. And know I appreciate every last one of you. And on that note, toodle pip.